everyone and welcome back to Cute Crochet. My name is Sri and in today's video I am going to show you how to make these beautiful puff stitch flower hair ties. These are so quick and easy to make. They take only around 5 minutes and they only take up some scraps. These make the perfect gifts for your friends and family for spring and summer. So let's get started. I bought this gorgeous set of rainbow hair ties a while back, but the problem with these was that one came with a beautiful bow while the other one was plain, so I decided to spruce up the plain ones with some flowers. I chose a yarn that matched my hair tie pretty closely, but you obviously don't need to do that. You can just choose a plain black hair tie and then make the flower with any color. This much yarn will probably make 3 or 4 hair ties, so it's a great scrap buster. With my 4-ply yarn, I am using a 4mm crochet hook. Start by making a slip knot. Then chain 4. Then slip stitch into the first chain to join. This will create a ring that we can then work into. Into this ring we are going to make 6 single crochets. Insert your hook into that ring, making sure that you are not going through any of the stitches. Yarn over and pull up a loop. When you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. And that completes 1 single crochet stitch. We are going to make 5 more in the same way into that same ring. Be careful to go through the center and not through any of the stitches. Once you have a couple of stitches in there, it gets easier. Once you've made the 6 single crochets, we are going to slip stitch on top of that first single crochet to join. Doing this will create a fake stitch, so keep that in mind. This brings us to the end of round 1. For round 2, we are going to make the puff stitch petals. For that, chain 2 to start. Then we are going to make a puff stitch into that same first stitch. For that, yarn over. Insert your hook into the same stitch and pull up a long loop. Make sure that it is the same height as the chain 2. Repeat this 5 more times. Yarn over. Insert your hook into the same stitch and pull up a long loop to the same height of the chain 2 and the previous loops. Do this 4 more times. Once you have 13 loops on your hook like this, yarn over and pull through all 13. Then we are going to chain 3. Then locate the next single crochet, which is right here, and make 1 slip stitch into it. Make that slip stitch very tight. Then we are again going to chain 2. Move over the slip stitch to make some space. Into that stitch we are going to make 1 more puff stitch in the same way. Once you have 13 loops on your hook like this, yarn over and pull through all 13. Then chain 3 and slip stitch into the next single crochet. Here we have 2 petals complete. We are essentially going to repeat the same thing 4 more times. Chain 2, puff stitch into the same stitch, chain 3 and then slip stitch into the next single crochet. Repeat this 4 times. After you have made the last puff stitch and chain 3, we are going to slip stitch into that fake stitch that was created by the slip stitch earlier. Next, snip the yarn and pull it through. We are going to use this yarn tail to sew on the bead for the center and then attach it to the hair tie. Using a smaller crochet hook, go in through the back of that same stitch. Pull that yarn tail to the back. Then go in through the base of the next petal and bring that yarn back up to the front. Next, it is time to sew on the bead. For that, I am going to use my teeny tiniest crochet hook, but you can use a yarn needle instead. I like to first put my bead on my crochet hook like this. Then simply use that crochet hook to pull that yarn tail through the bead like so. Position that bead nicely to the center of the flower. Then insert your crochet hook through the base of the petal that is directly opposite to the petal that we came in through, and then pull that yarn tail to the back. We can go ahead and snip this tail since it already has been woven in. Then insert your crochet hook through a loop that is close by to where the yarn tail is, and then pull that yarn tail through it. Make 3 or 4 chains depending on how wide your hair tie is. Then pull up a loop and remove the crochet hook. Place the hair tie underneath the chain like this and then bring the yarn tail on the other side. Then reinsert your crochet hook into that loop. Pick up a loop on the other side of the flower. Any loop will do. Make a slip stitch and then chain 1 and fasten off. Then we are going to weave this yarn tail in. Last but not the least, you will notice that the puff stitch flower at this stage isn't as puffy, so to puff up the petals we are going to push it from the back while pulling the chains on either side down like so. There we go, just look at the difference compared to the other petals. Repeat it for all of the others. And there you have it, your cute flower hair tie is complete. I obviously had to make one in all the colors of the rainbow. I never pass up an opportunity to do so. There is something about rainbows, they are so magical. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.